well do some cleaning while you're waiting, right? Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's Monday, October 2nd at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Sorry I'm getting to you a little late today. Just had a few things going on this morning. We're going to finish up the rest of this guy's beans that we custom farm for. So I stopped by the shop, get some fuel now. Got the bean head hooked up to the combine. Luke just started cutting on the next piece. Dad and my wife are shuffling some vehicles back and forth, and Jonathan's dumping the beans from the previous field. So I figured I'd bring you guys along, probably make this a two-dayer today and tomorrow, hopefully. See how it plans out. Seems like nothing ever goes according to plan, but that's all right. So I'll get fueled up here, get moved up to that 17 acres, and then from that 17 acres, we're going to go to a 70. So that should last us a few more hours this afternoon. And it is toasty today. It's about 84 degrees, so these beans are drying down a little bit. Not too bad, really. We've been having some really, really wet mornings. They've been foggy and have had a lot of dew, which is good. So it helps the beans pick up some moisture. But Thursday, I think, is when it's supposed to cool off. Thursday's supposed to be about 70. Friday, Saturday, a couple days after that, high is only supposed to be about 60, which is good. The low will be about, I think the coldest is supposed to be about 38. That's more harvest weather. So we should be getting really close to having our beans done by then, but if not, that'll definitely bring some moisture back. And for those of you who don't know, we're talking about, like, we say, oh, it's too wet to cut beans, and then we complain about being later in the day that they're too dry. Well, what happens is the whole bean plant dries out, you know, when it's 85 and sunny, including the bean seed, which obviously is what we're going after. So the seed itself, the moisture content in it is what we're going for, and that's what fluctuates so much. And so if you get a light dew in the morning, what that does, that makes the plant and the bean pod tough, makes it hard to thresh, but the bean seeds inside that are still hard. And so the bean plants have lots of moisture in them, but the seeds do not. So we say, oh, we want to wait on a rain for the beans, and so basically that just soaks the entire plant and keeps it soaked for a long time, and then the seeds themselves actually pick up moisture from the plant, and then the plant will dry out enough to harvest it, and then the seeds themselves will have retained some moisture, hopefully be around that 13% mark. So that's what we're kind of talking about when we say, oh, the beans are too dry, but we can't cut them, or they're too wet, this, that, and the other. Hopefully that makes sense. So basically, the beans can be too wet, but then in 2 hours be too dry. Hopefully that makes sense. Well, I made it here to the field. The beans are cutting really nice this afternoon. I'm going about 4.7, 4.8. Drawing about 90% power, so I could probably push a little bit harder, but no reason to run the machine that hard. We're on some lighter soil here, so the yields aren't as good, but to be expected. Beans are pretty dirty. I think it's because it was so dry. It kind of, maybe it shouldn't be, well, they might be a little bit diseased and maybe died a little bit there at the end. So got some real short rows here, but get it knocked out real quick with two machines. Made it over here to the 70. Just getting started. These beans are doing much better. 20 bushel better, actually. This is much better ground over here. It does have a light spot up against a railroad, but not too bad. You can see Luke's dust is over there. Dad's behind him in the grain cart. Jonathan's in the semi, hauling off some stuff from the other field. Then he'll be back here. We're about, I don't know, 2 miles from Oakland, and we like to haul that elevator, but they're closing at 5 tonight, which is in an hour, because they're filling up with beans, of course. Seems like they fill up real fast a lot, and they're one of the bigger facilities in the immediate area. Waiting on a train so they get their beans out. They are taking corn. I don't think they'd be taking corn any later than beans, but we'll have to see. Maybe see what tomorrow brings. These beans are testing about 11 right now. see what tomorrow brings, and then we might have to switch to corn. One, just for the moisture of the beans, and two, just to improve efficiency. That way we can dump faster there at the elevator and keep going later. I mean, we are hauling to Ashmore, which closes at 7. It's just further, but they're dumping pretty slow there as well because they've got quite a few people going there. I don't know, we'll see. Beans are doing quite well. We'll see just how it goes, unfortunately. Not for sure if you guys will be able to see it very well, but the beans are kind of leaning away from me, which means I'm having to run my reel forward and lower than what we normally do. Normally we just have the reel just barely going faster than our ground speed and just barely tapping the tops of the beans in. That way we can limit busting the pods open with the reel. But unfortunately, since these are leaning away from us, like I said, we got to run the reel lower, so it's getting more into the pods and busting them open a little bit more than normal. But unfortunately, it's just something that you have to do sometimes in order for to feed the crop into the bean head. Just thought I'd give you guys a little interesting fact. Keeps you on your toes sometimes. A lot of times with beans, you're constantly, at least we are, adjusting our reel up and down. That way you limit the reel opening up the pods and producing head loss. Most of the beans will go back into the head. That's just because all the other material is bringing it back in, but you will have some hit the ground sometimes. Even though these are both Class 7 combines, Luke's older series, his is a 7120, this is a 7240, his is about 4 years older, I think. They switched some things out whenever they started making either the 7230 or this model, the 7240, or the 230 and 240 series. And like I said, even though they're both Class 7, this one's got quite a bit more horsepower. They can normally go about 0.2 to half a mile an hour faster than beans, and this combine does have a larger cleaning area, so we can actually go quite a bit faster in corn as well. I'm not sure about on the 240 series combines, but I know for sure on the 250 series combines, which is their newest ones, Class 7, 8, and 9 all have the exact same specifications except for horsepower, and then their same size motor. So they're just turned down for whatever reason. Don't know really why they do it. They got the same cleaning capacity and the same grain tank capacity. So I guess in theory, if you wanted to, buy a Class 7 combine, get her tuned up, you have a Class 9 for like a lot cheaper. Probably like 50 grand cheaper. But makes it nice. That combine go about 2 or 3 in good corn. This combine can go 5.5, almost 6 sometimes with an 8-row head. So it does make a difference. We've just got the 70 about wrapped up. Got to that clump of weeds right there is the edge. So about another round in each combine and we'll have her done. That truck's basically full, so Dad's coming to get a little bit off of me to fill that, and then the other grain carts over there is probably got close to half a load. So I doubt the one more truck will hold it. Probably have to do 2 more. Unfortunately, it's a couple minutes after 6, so don't know if we're gonna get it in tonight or not. If not, hopefully we can get it on one other truck, and then we can move on to Dad's got 112 acres right next to town. Maybe we can get the other truck and both grain carts filled, but we'll see. Well, just got the heads unhooked, and Luke's is hooked up to the truck. Mine's hooked up here to the combine. We've got a little over half loads left, so we're going to take this into the shed lot next to the other field and potentially call it a night, which would be good. I call it early night, which would be fine with me. Go home and take a shower, get ready for bed. See you at the shed lot. Well, instead of going to the farm lot, we just parked it here in the old local dealership's used equipment lot. We're about less than a quarter mile from our field, so we will start on that tomorrow morning. Well, that's how today's been going. And we are about 300 yards that way, just right on the other side of that tree line. And somebody's coming to talk to me. Hold on. That was my dad's cousin. He came and had a little chat with me. We're gonna have plenty of time, that's for sure. Yeah, but anyway, we're literally about 300 yards away from the elevator and cutting beans, I guess I should say. I don't know what Matthew's updated you guys on, but we're cutting beans right now, and it's me and Matthew jumping between the trucks, both auger carts. Unfortunately, we just got to park an auger cart, or both auger carts at the end of the row, the end rows, and combine's got to stop and dump and keep going, and that really kills efficiencies when you got to stop the combine and dump. So hopefully we can get caught up here soon and get back to one truck driver and then somebody in the cart keep his combines going. So we will see. Also, I forgot to add that the elevator is stopping. Going to stop taking beans at 4. It's currently 2. So I guess we'll probably just have to haul a little farther to a different elevator. I don't really know what the plan is yet. I haven't talked to anybody about it. So hopefully we can keep things going smoothly. Might as well do some cleaning while you're waiting, right? Well, it's not even 4 o'clock yet, and we decided to go ahead and head to a different elevator. The line in Oakland was probably we call it out to the highway because they have a really long driveway that they all line up on, and it was probably, I don't know, a quarter mile long is probably how long their driveway is, and so that was going to take a while. I bet I would have been in line every bit of 40 minutes. If I had to guess. So we just headed down to another elevator, and I pretty much pulled right in on the pit. It's a little farther drive, but it should still make up for waiting in line in town. So after that, since the line's going to be so slow and they're waiting on a train there in Oakland, and they don't think it's going to be here till at least Thursday, and today's Tuesday. So instead of cutting some beans there in town, I think we're going to move back down south a little ways to closer to this elevator and just try to get things wrapped up down here, maybe, hopefully. So we're getting close to getting done with beans. After today, we'll have a few hundred acres left, I think, if my math's right. Well, I guess at some point the elevators can only take so much. I'm in line here at the other elevator that we moved to. Been waiting, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. Probably 15 minutes. Got probably another 15 minutes to go. But it's not too bad because Luke and Dad have moved the combines down to a field a little closer. I got 3 behind me. They're on the road right now, actually. So I think there's one load left at the field to the north, and then we're going to move down to this field at just about, I don't know, you can about see it from here, 2 miles maybe, 1.5 miles. So it'll take a little bit to get that opened up, so we'll be able to catch up a little bit with these semis, and then hopefully once we get up, by the time we get up and go on that, it'll probably be just about closing time, but that's all right. We'll be able to hold quite a bit here on the trucks and then take them in the morning. Well, it's been a couple hours at least since I talked to you guys last. Sorry about that, but I was running around quite a bit trying to get vehicles and tractors and semis and equipment moved from different fields and everything else, and we were trying to get a couple loads in off this new field before the elevator closed, but the line is just so long, and I didn't want to pull in there 15 minutes before the elevator closed and then sit in line for an hour and a half. So we just pulled the plug and then got the trucks filled and the carts filled, and then they'll be ready to go in tomorrow. Appreciate you guys tuning in to this one, and plenty more content content on the way. So if you would, please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll keep these videos coming for you. Thanks.